Hi, welcome to this digital modulation techniques video. In this video, let us discuss about the generation and detection of coherent binary phase shift keying. So let us discuss about the block diagram. First, let us consider the binary PSK transmitter. So this diagram shows that we are giving the binary data sequence as a input to the polar non-return to zero level encoder, and the output of the polar non-return to zero level encoder is given to the product modulator. We know the basic function of the product modulator. Whatever the inputs given to the product modulator, it will give it as some product of the input as the output. Therefore, the binary phase shift signal S of t, the output is represented as S of t. Okay. So in the product modulator, one of the output is getting from the polar non-return to zero level encoder, and one more input we are giving to us product modulator is phi 1 of t is equal to root of t divided by tb into cos 2 pi fct. So using this block diagram, let us discuss what is the basic operation of binary PSK transmitter and how we are going to generate a binary PSK transmitter. Let us discuss one by one. So the generator, or we can call it as transmitter block. This transmitter block consists of two components. One is polar non-return to zero level encoder, and we all are aware about that non-return to zero level encoder. Already we discussed in the line coding techniques. Okay. So this polar non-return to zero level encoder will represent the symbols ones and zero of the incoming binary sequence by amplitude level. 1 means it has high amplitude and 0 means it has a zero amplitude. Okay. And the second component of the BPSK block diagram is nothing but our product modulator. Before that, see that for example, if the symbol 1 means we will represent the amplitude level in plus root EB. For the symbol 0, the amplitude level we will represent it as minus of root EB. Okay, energy per bit. EB is nothing but energy per bit. And the second component is nothing but product modulator. It multiplies the output of the polar non-return to zero encoder by the basis function phi 1 of t. Therefore, with the sinusoidal phi 1 of t is acting as the carrier signal of the binary PSK signal. So, now we know that this root EB will be getting multiplied with phi 1 of t. So, with these two basic concepts, let us write down the mathematical expression. Okay. And also to make an optimum decision on the received signal x of t, and in the favor of symbol 1 or in the favor of symbol 0, that we will call it as estimate the original binary sequence at the transmitter input. For that, we will assume that the receiver is synchronized with the transmitter. So, we may identify the two basic components in the binary PSK receiver. Okay. One is correlator. This function of the correlator is nothing but it will correlate the received signal x of t with the basis function phi 1 of t on bit by bit basis. Okay. So that is the first component, basic component, which will get synchronized both in the transmitter of the binary PSK as well as the receiver of the binary PSK receiver. And the second component is nothing but decision device. So basically we know the decision device will act as a comparator. Okay. So here in our binary PSK receiver, this decision device will compares the correlator output against a sheer zero threshold. Okay, assuming that binary symbols, ones and zeros are equiprobable. Okay, it's very important. The decision device is acting as a comparator, and this decision device will compass the correlator output against a zero threshold, and with the assumption of binary symbols 1 and 0 are equiprobable. For that, let us consider x of t is given to the product or a multiplier. Okay, this is the binary phase shift keying receiver block diagram, and this can be given to the decision device, that means integral 0 to tb, that is integrator. Correlator consists of what? Multiplier and the integrator. So first term is nothing but correlator. So this is multiplier and this is the correlator. So the output of the correlator is given to the decision device, and I has already told the decision device is act as a comparator. It will compare the correlator output against a zero threshold. So the threshold value we have assumed as capital T is equal to 0. Okay, x of t is given to the correlator. Basically, the correlator consists of multiplier as well as the integrator. Therefore, the output of the correlator is given to the decision device. So now the decision device is going to take a decision or to estimate the transmitted signal. Okay. So now three conditions the decision device will follow. One is if the threshold is exceeded, okay, and the decision will made in favor of symbol. Okay, that is the first thing. But suppose if the threshold is not exceeded, the decision is made in favor of symbol 0. Because we are discussing about coherent detection, because of that we can apply the decision rule so that we can partition the signal space into two regions. So that we will call it as set of points close to the message point 1 at plus root EB and set of points close to message point 2 at minus root EB. We know that in prior discussion we discussed for the symbol 1 the amplitude is marked as plus root EB, and for the symbol 0 the amplitude is marked as minus root EB. So whenever we are going to partition the signal space into two regions, we can consider these two rules. Okay, so followed by this we can construct the midpoint of the line joining these two message points and then marking of the appropriate decision regions. Therefore, these two decision regions are marked as Z1 and Z2 according to the message point around which they are constructed. Okay. Therefore, the decision rule is now simply to decide that signal, that is S1 of t, that we will call it as binary symbol 1, was going to transmitted if the received signal point falls in region Z1. Okay. So from the decision rule, now we are assuming that we are going to decide that signal S1 of t, that is our binary symbol 1, was going to get transmitted if the received signal point falls in region Z1. Accordingly, we are going to do the process. And also we can decide that S2 of t, this S2 of t symbol is for binary symbol 0. This will get transmitted if the received signal point falls in the region Z2. Okay. So such a way we will generate a binary phase shift keying signal. Okay. And we can detect the signal using the decision rule and how this binary symbol 1 was transmitted and binary symbol 0 was transmitted. So these all are about the generation and detection of BPSK, that is coherent BPSK. Hope everyone understood the concept. Thank you for watching the video.